3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Unlearned and Reborn, a podcast where old habits are unlearned and new ones are reborn. Hey you. Welcome back. Listen, it's been a while, 3 weeks? Y'all, it is season not 1, but 2. Come on, give it up for the pod. And if you're watching on YouTube, I know you feel the difference. I got me a nice chair from TJ Maxx. Shout out to them. Same backdrop, who knows? Maybe I'll change it. And I know you see something you haven't seen before. It's a hoodie with the podcast name on it. Come on. By now, if you're listening to this pod, if you're watching on YouTube, my store should already be up. So if you don't got a hoodie, baby, what are you waiting on? What's going on? What you got going on? That's pretty much what I'm saying. What's happening? What's going on? Listen, I am so excited for season 2. Can you tell? I had to change the setup because I'm like, I can't be around here jumping around, knocking over stuff. Listen, I wanted this season to feel very, very personal, which it is. You want to know why? Because this season, I chose a topic. And the topic for this season is healing your inner child. I really felt like this needed its own season. Because season 1, and also by this time of me uploading this, you need to be watching the recap because I've already done a recap and I need you to go watch that where I talk about season 1 and how podcasting was and all of the hiccups and everything that I dealt with. So you need to go listen to that. I'll link it in the description. Press play. But I wanted to talk about healing your inner child because I really feel like when a child is born, that is their play button on their entire life. I mean, it is, right? But I also feel like from the time that baby gasps for its first breath of air, that baby is on a journey of learning. Some children learn fast, some children learn slow, some children in between. But listen, I wanted to dedicate this season to me. I want to thank me. No, I'm just playing. And I just really feel like this season is dedicated to little Shania. I want y'all to heal with me. I want to bring y'all along the journey of healing. Is that all right? And let the church say amen. Man, and it's just, I'm blessed. It's so amazing. I really, really feel like this is just creme de la creme time for us to talk about this, okay? So, first, healing your inner child, right? So, today's episode, we're going to talk about trauma wounds. Sis, you didn't even creep us in. First episode, season 2, episode 19. That's another thing. I didn't start over by saying, season 2, episode 1. No, season 1 had 18 episodes, so season 2 is starting off with 19. Press play. Trust me, season 2 is going to be a lot of y'all really, really getting to know me, and my brain just be everywhere. Anyways, press play, like I said. Trauma wounds. So no, we're going to jump right in. We're not going to tiptoe. What they say, if you're trying to get in the pool, you need to just jump in. Baby, we about to jump in. So get ready. Okay, so trauma wounds. Man, I did not realize what the heck a trauma wound was until I got into therapy. If you listen to season 1, you know how I feel about therapy. And if you haven't, stop listening to this and stop cheating. Take your butt back to season 1. And watch season 1 and then come back. I'll wait for you. I promise. I'll be here. But I didn't know about trauma anything until therapy. I just knew that I would get these feelings of full-blown rage and I would go off, completely, utterly, irrevocably off, baby. I was I was just turned. Like, girl, relax. What's going on? And I didn't know that that had a lot to do with trauma. For me, when I would experience, something that was triggering to me, my first response was, which is what they say, fight or flight. Baby, they need an in between. Because sometimes I would fight the feeling like, okay, no, ma'am, I'm not about to feel this. And other times I would be like, if you're watching the pod and if you're listening, I'm checking the deuces. You know how, like, no, baby, I'm gone. I'm out. And I feel like that was how I just handled trauma. Like, I didn't really know how to deal with that. I just knew that I felt a feeling that I really, really did not like, and I didn't know how to go about that. So, I really want to talk to y'all about how trauma, especially those deep rooted wounds, that thing can really, really shape you into a person that you do not want to be. Like, I felt like, if you listen to season 1 about my childhood abuse and my sexual trauma, trigger, for anyone that is experiencing that, I'm so sorry, if for anyone that's gone through that, but I will address it a little bit in this episode and those to come. But I didn't realize that those things had caused such deep rooted wounds until I got married. Like, therapy also taught me that it's not until you get into a committed relationship with someone that's really close to your heart, that you really love, that all your trash start coming out the bucket. Like, what is going on? Not me making sure like, when your in-laws or your homegirl or, you dating and your boyfriend or your girlfriend come over and you're like, okay, let me straighten up real quick, let me fix the pillows. Let me scrub the stains out the toilet. Let me get right. You know, that's how I thought I was for marriage. But baby, in the first year, marriage is like, oh, what they say, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Yeah. You think you finna have a blissful marriage? Marriage is like, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. Give it some time. And I just knew, I was just like, oh, I'm ready and there's nothing that's gonna harm me and stand in my way. Yeah, right. Like, I completely, baby, I was under the table. My husband would, go do something or say, he it would be little things and that thing would set me off. I'm trying to tell you, don't be ashamed. This is a safe space. But baby, sis, and homeboy, because I've been I looked at the analytics for season 1. It's a lot of men that listen to the podcast. Like, shout out to y'all. I'm so sorry that I'm always saying sis. So I'm gonna start saying bro because y'all be listening. Appreciate that. Dap you up. Um, it's a safe space here, and I want you to know that what you are experiencing is a trauma wound. Like, when something so small takes you from a 0 to 100, I want you to know that 9 times out of 10, you're experiencing a trauma wound. Like, somebody canceling plans on you and you are like, oh my gosh, I just can't believe them. And some people are just more deserving of a reaction like that. But say, it was genuine, hey, sorry, I forgot. And you just fly off the handle. You got to ask yourself, okay, why did I just do that? And that's how it was for me. Like, I had a very, very big issue with abandonment. Like, I've spoke about it before on the podcast with my dad not being active in my life growing up, like it really, that's when I started struggling with abandonment. But I did not know how deeply rooted it was until I got married, y'all. Until I had a husband that, you know, was his own person, and he liked to go play basketball, and he wanted to be out in the gym, and he wanted to play the game, and just, and there's nothing wrong with that. It would just be little things, and I would be like, oh well, he doesn't love me. Oh well, he's not showing me affection. Oh, he doesn't love me. Oh, he's just gonna leave me. He's gonna, y'all, the stuff I used to tell myself, baby. I used to be like, this man is going to go to the gas station and he gonna find him a little hottie toddy and he gonna hitchhike with that girl. Like, I really was convinced. Like, I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. He's gonna find someone and then I'm going to find him. Like, then you'd already know if you listen to season 1, Jailhouse. Like, what's coming next. And like, I just really, like, just even saying it now is just, it's laughable, but that thing was so real to me. When you have a trauma wound that is inflicted from something like abandonment, from something like perfection, from something like people pleasing, being overly analytical, being overly critical of yourself, being ashamed of your body, all of that stuff has come from somewhere. And it was not until therapy that I realized, okay, wait a minute. These feelings, these trigger spots, these trauma wounds, it started when I was a child. Like, a child, parents, moms, dads that have, children, y'all know that when you tell a child no, a lot of the times, especially toddlers, a tantrum will ensue. Okay, you are expected to stop throwing tantrums. I won't even say an age, but, after a while, you're expected just to, be more okay with hearing the word no. But when you have a trauma wound, imagine you being pretty much a grown child, that because that's how that's how, you're reacting more. I don't want to say grown child because I'm not trying to poke or make fun. You're acting more as a child when they are being told no, because when you tell a toddler no, they truly feel as though your no is like the end of their world. You saying no, oh my gosh, I'm about to fall out in the store. You told me I couldn't go play. You told me I couldn't have the tablet. I couldn't go outside. I'm done with you. I'm about to fall out. I'm about to scream. I'm about to holler. I'm about to kick and scream. And literally, that's how I was. Literally hollering, when me and my husband have disagreements, I'm screaming, I'm hollering, I'm slamming doors. I'm like, once I would come down from that rage, if you ever been in a rage, it's this huge, dark, mystical cloud that sits over you when you're in a fit of rage, and it's sitting on top of you, and you can see red, and smoke is coming out of your ears like you are a Looney Tunes character. And then, when you come down from that rage, and you look at the damage that you've done, depending on what type of rager you are. Maybe you are just a silent rager and you go in your room and you think about that thing for 72 days. Or maybe you are the more vocal rager and you scream and you holler, you cuss, whatever. Or maybe you're the more physical and you like to, redecorate your house by punching holes in the wall and stuff like that. Whatever your vice is, again, it's a safe space. It's okay. We gonna work on it, okay? But whatever form of rage you have, whenever you come down from that and you're calm, you're relaxed, because literally when you are experiencing a trauma wound and it gets poked, your body's immediate response is, okay, we got to expel this, we are feeling, because, you just shot your body up from a 0 to a 100. So your body tells you, you need to punch this wall because you are feeling it's too much for us right now. We can't do this. I don't want to do this. I'm done. Punch the wall, get it out. That's why you feel a sense of when you're done. So once you come down from that, right, and you experience this just you be like, now be for real. Was that necessary? Did I have to do that? Like, have y'all ever sent a text to somebody and you really ripping them a new one? You going in and for the brave ones that press send, Do y'all ever be like, mm, I should not have done that. Or maybe I should have just said it a little nicer. Like, man, and that is literally trauma wounds. Like that thing is so the intensity of that thing is such fire red that there is no way that you can come down from that unless you are, you have taken that step to start dealing with it. So, I spoke earlier about abandonment. Abandonment was very, very big for me, like I said, because of my father. And then when I got into relationships, I then tried to hold my partner hostage. Like, listen, I'm planning our whole life out. Like, I want to marry you. I want to, like, I don't think I have very many exes. Let me see, one more from high school, and another, maybe two or three. Because I don't even know if I would ever count some of these things as relationships. But anywho, so the biggest difference that I noticed between my previous relationships and my husband is that I used to tell the guys, in the past, that, hey, I want to be married, and they knew it like from the jump. Like, listen, I want this to be a long term thing. I want to be a wife. I want to be a wife. Blah blah blah. The whole nine. And I didn't realize until literally like a couple weeks ago that, wow, my husband wanted to be a husband. And, that even ties into abandonment because I felt like when I was holding, you know, people that I was in a relationship with hostage to, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. It's almost like, in a way, I was kind of setting myself up because if that person has already expressed to you that, or they're showing signs that, they're not ready for that type of commitment, your feeling of abandonment is definitely going to be triggered by that because you're going to feel like, okay, well, this person is just, this person doesn't want me. This person doesn't, doesn't want to be with me. They're a liar. They say that they want to do this, but they don't, the whole nine. And I didn't realize until therapy that I was almost making people, like, kind of giving people the benefit of the doubt. So let me see, how do I explain this? So I was giving people the benefit of the doubt, but I was also waiting for them to, like, reaffirm that a feeling of abandonment, if that makes sense. So let me try to explain. So, of course, so I said the abandonment came from my father. So then I start dating. That doesn't work out. That one doesn't work out. That one doesn't work out. Blah, blah, blah. I meet my husband, and then we start dating. And we had to do long distance for a couple months because, we were stationed at two different bases at the time. So I remember that even then, looking back now, abandonment was starting to flare up a little bit because, I would see his Snapchat and I would see other people on there. And I'm like, I remember, y'all, my husband could attest. I was going off on this man because on Snapchat, it looked like he didn't have on his wedding ring. And we had just got married. Like, I'm in the, that's my husband stage. So I was like, oh, so you went to the holiday party and you don't want to have your ring on. I'm about to bop you. Like, I'm about to whack-a-mole you right now. And he was like, babe, I do have it on, blah, blah, the whole nine yard. But I didn't realize my feeling of abandonment was rising because I'm like, listen, we didn't got married. You don't want to wear your ring because you trying to tell me without telling me that you're about to leave me. Like, as silly as it may sound, y'all, I was convinced, like, okay, yeah, you're trying to, like, pretty much lay me down gently that, this is about to end, for the worst. And, abandonment it's so funny the way that it shows up as a trauma wound because it doesn't have to only be from the original person that offended you, i.e., like, a parent or a spouse or, a child or a friend. Like, they may be the person that initially, abandoned you, but until you deal with that, you will feel like everyone beyond everyone after them is abandoning you. Someone doesn't show up for a lunch date. Oh, boom, they're already abandoning me. You know, somebody double books themselves. Oh, you're abandoning me. They don't, they don't want to, do the activity you want to do. Oh, you're abandoning. Like, I mean, it will just continue to cycle and cycle. And from my experience, abandonment is such a it's a really, really silent and slow killer because, like I said, it wasn't until I got with my husband, got in therapy that I realized, okay, wait a minute, you have a problem with abandonment. Y'all, I had started feeling a way about my father not being in my life when I was like a teenager. I'm 26 now, almost 27. So years of abandonment had already built up. And the thing about a trauma wound is that when you have not dealt with it and time has now started to accumulate, oh, baby, that thing is getting deeper and deeper. It's just like tree roots. It's deep, very, very deep. You might cut the trunk, but those roots, baby, you're going to have to get like a machine to uproot the tree trunk. And it's the same thing with a trauma wound. You can put a Band-Aid on it, but that trigger, that event that triggers you, that is going to rip that Band-Aid right off. And I mean, it's just I know y'all have had scabs that have been trying to heal. And that thing, when you rip off that Band-Aid or that Band-Aid gets caught on something, y'all, it literally feels like the wound is fresh all over again. And then, what about the time where, it's pussed up around the edges? So you're like, okay, well, let me just go ahead and change the Band-Aid. And that first when the air hits it, that's that circumstance hitting your wound. That's that friend, that's that sibling, that's that parent, that's that spouse, that child, that job hitting that wound, and you're just like immediately you're like, let me cover it up with my hand, or let me, put something over it because it's stinging right now. With wounds, for me, I felt the opposite was good, i.e., like, how, like I gave the example of when you're feeling the sting, you want to put your hand over it. For me, I felt I was really started to heal when once the Band-Aid came off, I left it off. And I started to examine the wound, like, oh, okay, it's kind of browned around the edges, or, oh, yuck, it's some green pus that's kind of coming out, some yellow pus. It's a little red, or, on the bottom. I really started to deal with the trauma because one thing for certain, people are going to make mistakes. That's a hard truth that I had to, sort through in therapy. And you know who else is going to make mistakes? You. You know who else is going to make mistakes? Me. So it's like, I don't know why at times we hold people to these unrealistically high standards that we don't even hold ourselves to. Or vice versa, you hold yourself to this crazy standard and then you expect everyone else to be held to this standard. Listen, just because you want to be an Olympic gold medalist doesn't mean I want to be, but we can still be friends. And it's the same thing with a trauma wound. When you are working through it, just because I was abandoned by my father does not mean that I'm going to be abandoned by my husband. I have to give him a chance. And even in that, giving him a chance, I found that I feel like I started to heal in a new way, because as scared as I was, as hurt as I was, I had to say, okay, you know what? Not only am I telling you the wound, not only am I telling you that, hey, this hurts really, really bad, I'm giving you the power to inflict another wound similar to this or even worse than this. And lo and behold, he's like, okay, babe, like, it's okay. I am here for you. And, he would always tell me, I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to leave you. And it's like when you're going through the trauma, or you've been triggered, from an event or from something that's happened, it's really hard for you to hear, oh, I'm not going to leave you. You're like, okay, yeah. Join the long list of people that said the same. Like, I don't want to hear that. And I used to just be like, oh, I know you're not. But in the back of my head, I'm like, child, let me go ahead and start making a little emergency savings, a little rainy day savings. Let me go ahead and make sure I got a place to go. Me and my kids, like, girl, hush. You want to be in a movie so bad. Like, good lord. Um, yeah, it was challenging, but I felt like the most I really started to heal from the trauma wound of abandonment when I started trusting people again. And I'm not saying you walk around just, oh, bet, girl, I like your hair, girl. Oh, we best friends now. Because I went through a phase of that, just making everybody my best friend, making, girl, we can have one similarity. Oh, girl, we friends now. Oh, girl, you my best friend. And, anybody that knows me, that is my personality. Like, baby, I will make me a friend. Matter of fact, I'm going to make two. For every two of you, every one of your friends, baby, I'd have made two. And, that came from abandonment. Like me, like, bet I will not be alone. I'm going to make a friend here. I'm going to make a friend there. I'm going to keep in touch with them friends in case I visit back, in that state. I got two people that I know. Like, all of that stemmed from abandonment. But when I started saying, no matter how hurt this wound is, I'm still going to have friends. I'm still going to trust my husband. I'm going to learn to trust my husband. I'm going to learn to have a relationship with my dad. You know, those are the big girl steps that really, really take maturity and really take you saying, listen, no matter how hard this hurts, this healing journey, it's for me. It's something that I really, really want. And you have to want it like you want to breathe, y'all. No exaggeration. Like, some of y'all are holding up your own progress. You think it's in the next person. You think it's in your partner, your spouse, your friend, your parents. No, baby. You are holding you up. You are standing in your own way. You have the tools to start. You're not going to have everything then. I didn't have what I'm saying now then. I had to go through, therapy in order to get to where I am. But I need you to get comfortable with going through than stopping. You got to go through to get to the other side. I don't care if you crawl. I don't care if you walk. I don't care if, you got an army, baby, but you're making progress and you're getting there. What you cannot afford to do is stop. We don't have that kind of time to be stopping in the middle of our healing. And you wonder why you keep attracting people that have similar wounds to you. That was another thing. I feel like I went through a season of my life where I was attracting just people that were just, oh, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I need. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, baby, I need something too. Now, wait a minute. Hold on. Again, I'm always say in therapy, you know, and just I do a lot of self-reflecting. Therapy has really granted me that space and that ability to understand that was one of the methods that I really used to cope. I still do it, self-reflection, but at the time I didn't know that's what that was. But I would write in journals about situations that would happen and how I analyzed it and what I thought about it. And, I would go back and say, okay, I could have done this better, or, you did really good there. Or sometimes I would just trash talk myself or trash talk the other person. But I did a lot of self-reflection, and self-reflection, it's great. It's good because it lets you know that, listen, I am aware of this trauma wound. I am aware that this thing is being a nuisance in my life. And I'm also aware that I want to change it. I want to do something about this feeling of abandonment. The other trauma wound that I had was being overly critical. And, I still haven't figured out exactly where the overly criticalness came from. I think I semi know, when I was a child, I remember my mom was teaching me Mary Had a Little Lamb or something, on the piano. And I just remember that she was going in on me, y'all. No, stop doing it like that. Stop doing it like that. And, I was very sensitive growing up. So if you fussed at me 1, 2, 3 times, okay, baby, now I'm about to start crying because, baby, why are you hollering? So, like, I feel like me being overly critical came from me not being able to really process critiques without internalizing them so deeply. I am a very, very in tune person. Like, I can feel, I don't know what they call that, an empath? Um, Something like that. I think it is called an empath. But, I can feel like if somebody, like y'all, I be on YouTube crying. I be watching the military homecoming videos. Baby, why do I be watching that? Like, baby, if y'all could see my YouTube history, y'all would be cracking up because I go from watching military homecoming videos to surprise pregnancies to oh yeah, girl, and I even be I say yeah, girl. I even be watching NBA highlights, game winning shots. I be watching NBA fights. Like it just be the whole nine. Thing be just compiled of all kind of stuff. So I can really feel me being sensitive. I really could feel so much as a child, and I feel like that was good and bad because when my traumas started to happen, and as a child I really didn't know they were trauma, but that thing had stuck with me, and that thing was so deeply rooted that it was something that I don't even think I was prepared, to deal with once I got to therapy. Like just all of it just spilling over, spilling out. But it's something so beautiful when I started to get answers for, why I would feel a certain way. Or, I started to be like, oh, okay, so that's where that came from. I don't know how to process critiques because I felt attacked, when I would get critiques. I felt like I was giving my best, and the person that was critiquing me, all they could see was the negative. Okay, so Shania, you're not a bad person. You're not a bad kid. You're not a bad adult. You know, you have this wall up, this defense mechanism for when people are critiquing you because in your eyes, you just see attack, attack, attack versus, sometimes it might be an attack, but critiques are meant to be helpful. So that being overly critical, being another trauma wound, it poured over into my husband. Like me acting towards my husband, like I would, oh, but babe, you're always doing this. Listen. Tidbit: if you're married, always does not exist. Okay. Tidbit: if you're parenting, always does not exist. Just doesn't. Always, I don't even know why always is a word because, baby, unless it's God, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, nobody does anything always, okay? Even the person that get on your nerves, baby, y'all be laughing in the break room. So they don't always get on your nerve. I love the word often, though, because some of y'all often to the often. Like, y'all be running out. Y'all be doing it. Like, you might not always, but baby, you be often. And I throw in it every now and again, to spice it up, but, often, I would, be on my husband and just be just so nitpicky about things. Like, no, but you are always doing this. You always doing that. If you can see me on YouTube, I'm rolling my neck because women, how when we in that zone and we talking with our hands and don't let your nails be done because you click clacking, you know what you be doing. But I started, it's translated into how I started viewing other people, just overly critical, them, oh, they do this, they do this, they do this. Oh, they never is another word that don't exist. When you're married, when you're a parent, it's just because those are two extreme words that just really 8 out of 10 times is just not true. Now there are, there's the outliers, there's exceptions to every rule. So there may be some circumstances, where always and never is true. But for people, I have not seen it, majority of the time is another thing I like to say. Majority of the time she's late. Majority of the time, she's not dependable. But always, never. I try not to use those words. And that even has helped me become less critical. Or I'll hit you with the, I wouldn't do it for myself. Y'all, what? The type of healing, for me. Oh, that's the therapy in me talking. For me, I wouldn't. Oh, girl, don't that sound good? Like, it sounds real, real good. Me personally. Oh, yes. I'm clapping. I love seeing on TikTok, on Instagram, the girlies. Even the men, I see them on there, and they're like, she wore that dress. But for me personally, I wouldn't wear it. I love that. Yes. That literally has helped me be less critical because, baby, what works for you may not work for me and vice versa. Mind your business. That's it. Because to me being critical of someone else is me trying to impose what I think they should be doing onto them. Because guess what, baby? If the flip was switched, how you say it? Oh, if the script, it's not even switch. If the script was flipped, I wouldn't want nobody being critical of me because, like I said, y'all, I'm sensitive. I'm a lot better now. Like I'm really starting, to be able to take critiques. And then too, baby, everybody should not be critiquing you because if you're going around trying to get critiques from everybody, baby, oh, let's talk about it. There might be something that, you might be avoiding something because I've learned to trust myself. Trust myself because you have to be able to trust your word before you trust somebody else's word. It wasn't until I started trusting that, girl, you are fine. Girl, you are thick. Like, girl, you are beautiful, that I started believing when other people would tell me. My husband would say, baby, you're beautiful. But I used to be like, oh, okay, thank you. Get away because you're trying to hunch. But it's like, now that I can look in the mirror and I see a beautiful woman, a gorgeous woman, a Campbell's chicken noodle soup good woman. When people say it, I'm not going to say I'm not fazed. I accept the compliment. I love the compliment, and it hits different when you know what you know about you. I even vocalizing that I had an issue with abandonment was so freeing because I knew that something was like not right. But again, me being I'm like, oh, no. I don't want to admit that, nothing's not perfect. That goes into the other one, the other trauma wound, perfectionism. Baby, I'm no therapist. Let me just throw that out there. But I think that perfectionism is a trauma wound because, whether your parent used to scream at you when you would make mistakes, and I have to even catch myself with our children. Like I do, y'all, I'm working on it. I am. I'm not perfect. I do be fussing. I be fussing because, baby, why are you in the trash? Why? I don't understand that. Why are you playing in the toilet? Why? Like, parents, help me be able to have a calmer response besides get out of that toilet, get out of that trash. Because why are you doing it? Like, perfectionism can, I just, I don't really understand or know where it, particularly comes from. Like I was saying, it might honestly be that you have been fussed at when you made a mistake. So now you feel like, okay, I have to literally be perfect. Some people are very meticulous in nature. And I even think if you're not careful, being meticulous, about your work, and you like having everything neat, you like having everything organized, I don't think that's a problem. I'm not, I don't put a stamp of, that's an issue. And when you always want, all the pillows to be laying, that's you. Again, what did I say earlier? Me personally, I don't mind if my pillow is not chopped I don't mind if my pillow not fluffed. Some people are different. But I think being meticulous can eventually go over into perfectionism if it's not, monitored properly. If you can accept mistakes, and keep on pushing, okay, you're good. But I had a really bad issue with things just not okay, like, because like I said, at first I was, starting, oh, I'm being meticulous. I really like, when I do my homework, I like for it to look pretty. I like to, get A's. I like to, baby, when I got that first C, baby girl, I'm in the principal's office like, sir, what's going on? Explain it to me now. Because I'm getting ready to, like, go off. So, baby, college humbled your girl. Because, okay, when I got my first C, I was like, I ain't used to this. I'm used to making A's and B's. What's going on? So, how I got over perfectionism is accepting my mistakes, laughing at my mistakes. Y'all, when I tell you, me and my husband, we've been in this house cracking up at the silly stuff we be doing, or even just talking about our past, this past stuff that used to trip us up. That's such a beautiful thing, too, in our relationship that I really love. When we can laugh about the times that we used to be at each other's neck. Like, boy, I will knock you over like a bowling ball. Stop playing with me. Like, you be playing too much. But it's like, we can laugh and stuff about that now. Hindsight, 2020, everybody know that. But yes, accepting my mistakes for what they were, a mistake. So, oops, my bad. Oops, okay, I'm going to try not to do that again. And guess what? I would love to tell y'all that all my mistakes I made, I never made them again. I would love to sell you that in a bottle and call it Wipe Off or something, whatever the name would be. But baby, I'd be lying to you, and you should get your money back, because there are plenty of mistakes that I've made again. I said, oh, I'm going to stop yelling at my kids. And then guess what? I catch them in a doggone trash again. And here I am, back at square one, fussing. So understanding that being a perfectionist actually dehumanized me, because I'm saying that if I am not always at 100%, then I'm nothing. I'm at zero. And it's like, no, I think I can do my best work. Yes, 100%. Yes, I try my best to give everything 100%. But I've put out some really, really phenomenal 90s. Some really, really, double look 80s. Some pretty decent 70s. Some 60s. So what am I saying? To get over perfectionism, you're going to have to really be okay with doing the very best that you can. That's the first step. And secondly, being okay with not being perfect, because nothing is perfect. Literally, shapes are probably the only thing that I saw that's perfect. Like a circle. I remember they taught us how to do a circle in school. It's perfect. It's a circle. It goes from this end. It has no bound. It's perfect. It's wonderful. Like, baby, what? What is this? Like, that's the only thing that I know, that, like I said, besides that and our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, there's nothing that's perfect, baby. Like, we gonna miss the mark. And I'm not saying like, I'm with it with the motivational videos and the hustle culture that's like, listen, you gotta get up and make every day your best day. When you get up, you need to make sure that you eat 12 sandwiches and run 12 miles. And when you get back home, do it again. Because you're not done until you're finished. Like, what does that even mean? Like, what? Y'all just be chatting on social media. But, finding a balance, because even with my abandonment, even with struggling with being overly critical, even with struggling, I can't talk, struggling with perfectionism, I am still human. There are some times where I am still struggling with these things. And I have to, tell myself, like, y'all, if y'all could see the behind the scenes of me and this doggone setup, it's pretty now. But baby, after I had did my makeup, because your girl be her face, it's beautiful. If you listening, you need to come to YouTube so you can see what I'm talking about, because baby girl's shining. But when I did my makeup and I was setting up my lights and stuff, y'all, I was so close to saying, forget it. I will film another day. Because baby, the lights was acting weird. My camera was doing nonsense. I couldn't find out the setting that I had it on the last time. Like I preset it, I turned it off so it could be perfect when it came back. Look at me, perfect. So it could be right when I came back. And then everything was just out of, listen, y'all, I was so close to saying, you know what? Don't worry about it. But here I am recording because I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I love this podcast. I have so much fun with this podcast. I like filming. I like content creation. I don't give a flying fluke if it's not absolutely perfect. I gave that up a long time ago. And I was like so close to just like getting so frustrated. And I think that's even something to be attributed to trauma wounds, like frustration with just life itself. Like, if you are in therapy, and you feel like, or maybe you're not ready for therapy yet, it's okay, whichever one that you're in, but I really think you need to get into it. But, you're trying your best. You wake up and you're intentional every day. You go to your workouts, you go to your job, are dealing with your children, or, you drop them off to childcare, you pick them up, you have a routine set. You're really in the flow. You're doing everything. And I think there has to be something said about being frustrated with life and where your life is. I understand. I remember when I was going through my depression for the third time, how frustrated I was with my life, y'all. I was just like, I just feel like I'm always going through something, going through something, going through something. Every time I feel like, okay, cool, I had me a nice little cool day, boom, slap, I'm going through something again. And it's like, I think very well I was going through a lot of things. However, I also realized that a lot of the things I was going through, I was not willing to deal with. So they just kept circling right back around. Like, okay, bet we'll see you in 2 weeks, girl. We'll see you in a month. Like, if you are experiencing that cycle that over and over again of just feeling like every time you jump over a hurdle, dang, here comes a doggone mountain, ask yourself, is it something that I'm trying to avoid in my life right now? Because trauma wounds, baby, that's a thing about trauma wounds. They will come out whether you are ready for them or not. They are not come out wherever you are, baby. They're going to, hey girl, in that meeting, hey girl, at that school, hey girl, at that job, hey girl, in your relationship. Oh, they gonna come out. And you gonna be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I did that. I remember how embarrassed I used to feel after, like I said earlier about you have your fit of rage and then you come down. I used to be so embarrassed. My husband, God bless him, that man is for me, y'all. That is my man. He is mine. That boy is mine. I don't even know if that's how the song go. But he's mine. Yes, God sent him to me. I know he did because, y'all, that man used to just be like, he'd just look at me and just be like, sometimes he would laugh and that would even piss me off even more. Like, stop laughing. Or he would just be like, it's okay, babe. It's okay. I still love you. I used to be like, ooh. Like, I be want to tussle. Yeah, like, that's why I, really want to talk about this for season 2, because I want y'all to know, like, listen, it happens. Again, give yourself grace. You said you wanted to start the healing journey. For all the people that said this year, I am going to heal from my trauma. I am going to heal from my past. I'm going to heal from my experience. You got your hand raised. Listen, this is probably going to be the easiest part. You raising your hand and you dancing because, baby, what's to come? And let me not even be like, not even try to scare y'all, but I really wish they would inform us better. Like, listen, it's going to get ugly before it get better. And then it's going to get real ugly and then real ugly. And then it's going to get better. Like, I wish y'all, there were some technical difficulties. So I had to pause and recording and come back. Listen, I'm going to do this podcast regardless. Okay. Yeah, so the last thing that I remember saying is that I wish that they would warn us that it's going to get ugly before it gets better. And that's just the reality of it. You know, when you are going through a traumatic healing, because you have to think the trauma experience was already traumatic, right? It was already harsh and intense. Imagine what the healing is going to be like. Like, it's going to be just as intense. But y'all, I can honestly say, right hand to God, that I can tell that I am starting to heal. I can tell by how I am interacting with others. I can tell by how I am interacting with my husband. Like, day by day, I tell myself, if I am better than yesterday, I'm doing something right. You know, I used to be this worrier. Oh my gosh, tomorrow and a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from. That's why I believe in writing down goals and writing down your plans, but I don't believe too much into planning ahead. And that doesn't mean that you don't set goals for the future. Yes, you do. I want to hit 1,000 subscribers. I want to hit 100K in subscribers this year. I know we only at 86 or 87 right now, but I believe that this is my God-given talent. This is what God gave me. This is my gift. I believe that this year we are going to soar. And y'all are going to help me by sharing and telling your homegirl, telling your homeboy, listen, you need to get in on the podcast. Y'all really do. Because when I blow up, please don't try to inbox me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Just joking. Just kidding. But seriously, like, don't worry about 6 months from now. Like, yes, you can think about it. You can plan towards it. But if you're worrying about it today, baby, you are wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Because what is for you is for you. If you go to my Instagram, _Shania Alyse, follow your girl. It says in my bio, I literally just changed it the other day. I said in quotations, your gift will make room for you. It will. Stop trying to make room for the gift. It said it will make room for you. It's welcoming. Hey girl, hey boy, what you doing? You trying to knock down walls and say, okay, gift, come on. Like, no, that ain't how it works. Listen, you want to heal, you have to start now. You know, I will honestly say it's just like having a child. You're never fully ready because every time, I'm gonna work on me. I'm gonna make sure I do this first. I do this first. Listen, there is going to be something else that you're going to have to work through. You know, because in trauma, in therapy, they just give you skills to deal with your life. They teach you how to comb through your stuff and present it back in a pretty little nice package with a bow. You know, and some stuff, sometimes in therapy sessions, you're going to leave and you're going to be like, what the heck? I don't even feel like we got anything accomplished. And then there's going to be some days where you're like, wow, this is really starting to make sense. This is really starting to, feel good. You have to know what you want out of it. If you want to heal from your trauma wounds, you need to first understand and know what you want exactly to heal from. Because if you can't even identify it, that's going to take its own time. Like I said, I'm a very self-reflective person, and I'm aware that everyone is not like that. So your biggest thing is to first even figure out where your wounds are. Are you perfectionist? Are you a perfectionist? Are you overly critical? Are you do you have abandonment? Let me look at my notes because I wrote some down. Are you overly critical? Are you overly analytical? Are you self-conscious of what others think about you? Listen, this is the last one for real. I had an issue, and sometimes I still struggle with this, about what other people think about me. Like, baby, you could tell me something, and I would just be like, oh, okay. And then I would go home, and that thing, I would just think on that one little thing, that one perfectionism. I'm telling you, in a way, some of these things tie into each other. Being a perfectionist, caring about what other people think, like, the more and more I pour into me, I'm able to push things out. It's almost like oozing out. Like, I don't care as much about what people think about me. Y'all, I used to care like 85%. That's so high, and that is so dangerous to have such a high care about what other people think about you at that high, because girl, if they say something even a little left, your whole world is going to be turned upside down. And that's how it used to be for me. Somebody could tell my husband something, and that thing would just eat away at me. It's like now, and I told my husband, I said, I came back to him a couple of days later, and I was like, I think I got so upset about what that person had said because I feel like there was truth to it. Let's talk about it. Listen, when there is truth to a critique that you are not ready for, baby, the type of mad you get, they talk about big mad. No, baby, I'm bigger mad. Because why are you trying to read me like that? Why? What is wrong with you? And it's like, man, because you got to think, when somebody, say y'all playing sports or somebody, and somebody say you whack, oh, you ain't good, you can't dribble, and you can, you going to like laugh it off, or you going to be like, oh, okay, I bet I'll crush you up. Or, oh, man, you can't even sing like that, or you can't even do that. Not only am I going to show you that I can, I'm going to make sure you understand it, baby. This is my sport. This is me right here. This is my craft. Like, this is my dance now. So it's like, you know, build your confidence. Therapy gives you a level of confidence because you are learning to trust that you can get through your life. There are so many people that give up when they are literally too. Imagine if we could see how close we were to the finish line, if God would give us that ability. How many steps do you think you have? What if you only had 3 steps left? What if you only had 4 steps left? What if you only had a week before you hit your first million? What if you only had a month, 6 months before you were able to be debt free? How would you carry yourself if you knew how many steps it took to get to your next? Because a lot of times, y'all, we are so obsessed with this overnight success. Listen, we're going to get into it this season. Y'all need to leave that thing alone. Y'all, anything that comes fast, it does not last. You need to fall in love with the process. I made a TikTok about it. Fall in love with the process, because as you grow, you're not going to have that much time to appreciate the little things. You're going to be busy. You're going to be booked and busy. You're going to be over here, flying here, driving here, swimming there, child, however you get there. You're going to be gone. You're not going to have the time. Like, I cherish, me having the hiccup with the camera, me having the hiccup with the lights, because eventually I'm going to be recording in a podcast studio. Like, something I'm going to have people come in and, do it how I want it to be. And baby, I'm not going to have to worry about all this because I'm going to have a team. I'm just going to have to show up, get my hair and my makeup done. Ooh, I can't wait. Sit down in my chair. That's going to have my name, like, that's going to be all in my color scheme, my brand. I'm going to be able to do all of that. But right now, I'm a one-woman show, baby. So I got to set up the lights. I got to do my makeup. I got to do my hair. I got to make sure that, I'm in frame. Cherish these times, because this all will mean something in the end. And it's just to tie it back into trauma wounds. You taking the time to go to therapy and to start your journey, this will mean something in the end. You are starting something for your children. You are starting something for your spouse. You are starting something in your family that has not been done before. Especially in the Black community. Y'all know that we just, oh, you'll be all right. Don't worry about it. You'll be all right. Just wipe it off. Suck it up. Y'all, We are full. We are walking around just full with so much trauma and hurt in our hearts, so much pain. Listen, you need to release that, honey. You need to release that. Let that hurt go. Because there will be no room for the things you're trying to manifest, the things that you are wanting in your life when you have all that poison inside of you. Where is that gift going to sit? Where is that blessing going to sit? It's going to make another lap around. Because when it comes to your front door and imagine, the mailman comes and he's like, oh, I need you to sign this package. You got a baby on your hip. You got, a plate of food in your hand. You got the broom, hanging behind the door. Like, you got so much going on. Okay, well, I'll just come back later. That's how blessings work, baby. You have to be in position to receive the blessing. A lot of y'all write stuff down. Oh, I want to be this. I want to do this. I want to hang out with this person. But you don't even, you're not even putting your content out there. But you want to be invited to the Essence Festival. How? These people don't even know your name. Like, you got to put your stuff out there. You want to heal? Find a therapist. COVID, with the quarantine, listen, you don't even have to leave your house. They have it where you can do it literally from home. You have to stop making excuses and start owning your space. Start owning your pile of mess and get to sorting through it. Because it's not anybody else's responsibility to do it. It is your pile. It is your mess. And it's a safe space here because guess what? I got a pile too. But I keep my pile maintained. I don't let it overfill and fall over my head and grow all the way to the ceiling. No. There's times where it's a little higher than I like. And, I have to say, okay, you know what? I got to take a week off or take a couple of days off and deal with this pile. But you deal with it because you are capable to deal with it and you can deal with it. Your trauma does not have to define you. Your past does not have to define you. You can be something beyond that. I'm here, a living testament. I'm speaking to you now, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, she got it all together. Wow, she this, she's that. Oh, wow. Listen, I don't have no magic potion. I decided to deal with the pile. I need you to start dealing with the pile, okay? Can you do that for me? I would really appreciate it. Listen, that was a lot. I'm sorry if I was talking fast. And excuse the hiccups and, the camera. You might hear a little dinging in the background from a low battery with the little, what do you call that thing? A fire alarm. Trust me, stuff be happening around here in the back. I'm on the show. So forgive me if you can hear any of the background. Thank you. Yeah. So this is the type of vibe we are on for season 2. Listen, I know I left a lot of good nuggets. Y'all might even have to run it back and listen to it a couple times, but that's okay. Y'all helping me out. Okay. Listen. So by this time, if you're wondering like, dang girl, that hoodie is nice, baby, you can get one too. You know how I know? Because we have an online store now. Listen, I am partnering. I don't want to say partnering because they ain't like sponsored or nothing, but I've linked up with Printful. And I put this design, my design that I created, something very simple, but I really, really love it. For the podcast, I put it on hoodies, t-shirts, and I put it on a tote. So you can go to www.ulrbpod.com and you can cop you some merch. I want to see y'all tagging me on social media with y'all hoodies, y'all totes, y'all t-shirts. I even have stickers on there. I hope to get more, other things that I can put the logo on that I feel like will be worth it, from a buyer standpoint. And I really want y'all to support the podcast. Listen, it literally, like, I had made some. I have a Cricut, so I had made some that, not a hoodie, but I had made the other t-shirts in season 1. I made those, and these literally look just like that. So I believe it's a DTG, so it's direct to garment. So it really should be, it really is going, not even should be. I know for a fact it's going to hold up because of just the quality. I will say this is a warmer hoodie. So if you don't live in a cold state, you might not want to get the hoodie, or just be mindful that when you wear it, you might get a little warm. Over time you will cool off, because I feel more cooler, but when I first started filming, your girl was spiced hot. um so yes, and they're in my brand colors. If you can tell, I've really been honing in on my brand colors. So they are this maroon. I have a an olive color, and I have a couple of like nudes. So that is the rebrand that I have done with the podcast. I am so loving it. So everything that I post, as far as like templates and announcements, if you notice, like, girl, these colors, yes, that's your girl's color scheme. So I've been getting to it. What I would love for you to do is, like I said, visit the website. I'll have some digital e-courses coming soon to teach you how to start your own podcast. I know a lot of people ask me all the time, and I really want to help y'all. I said a mouthful. Again, if you have to listen back, do that for me. I love y'all so, so much. I need you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I am on the road to 100K, 100,000 subscribers. Yes, I want that. I dream big over here. I can't preach what I don't practice. I dream big. That is what I want. I want to get there with your help. So if you like what you heard, I need you to start commenting and talking with me in the comments and sharing it with a friend. Okay? Listen, y'all are the reason why I do what I do. I know I am helping people, and this is what I love to do. So help me keep helping you. Can you do that? I know you can do that. Listen, I've talked your ear off enough. Listen, I just need you to meet me back here same time next week. Okay? Can you do that? You can? Okay. Talk soon. Bye.